Brother, what I'm about to tell you is going to sound absolutely insane. It contradicts everything you've been taught, everything women say they want, everything modern dating advice tells you. But if you watch what women actually respond to instead of what they claim they want, this pattern becomes undeniable. There's a specific way of treating women that creates intense attraction, devotion, and pursuit from them. And it's the opposite of what they tell you they want. They'll say they want one thing, then consistently choose men who do the complete opposite. And those men, they're the ones women obsess over, chase, and refuse to let go. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Women don't want to be treated like princesses on pedestals. They don't want men who worship them. They don't want constant validation and agreement. These things kill attraction, even though women claim that's what they want. Marcus Aurelius understood human nature at a level most people never reach. He wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." What women say they want is opinion. What they actually respond to, that's truth. And the truth is wild. Today, I'm revealing exactly how women actually want to be treated. The way that creates real attraction, real respect, real pursuit from them. This will make you uncomfortable. It might even make you angry. But if you're ready to see reality clearly instead of comfortable lies, this will change everything about your success with women. Pay close attention. This is the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Let's go. Here it is. The crazy truth about how women want to be treated. They want to be challenged, not coddled. They want someone who pushes back against them, not someone who agrees with everything. They want a man with his own frame who won't bend it to please them. Let me be crystal clear about what this means and what it doesn't mean, because this gets misunderstood constantly. This is not about being disrespectful, mean, or abusive. This is not about putting women down or treating them badly. This is about having enough strength in your own beliefs and standards that you don't automatically defer to her just because she's attractive. Here's what this actually looks like in real life. When she says something you disagree with, you tell her you disagree instead of nodding along to avoid conflict. Not aggressively, not like you're attacking her, just calmly and clearly. I actually see it completely differently. And then you explain your perspective. Most men are terrified to disagree with women they're attracted to. They think agreement creates connection. It doesn't. It creates boredom. She's testing whether you have actual beliefs or whether you'll abandon them for her approval. When you stand your ground, respectfully, you pass the test. That's why I'm excited to have the Win Girl method as the sponsor of today's video. It was founded by dating expert and YouTuber Man, your personal wing girl, whose channel has passed 1.4 million subscribers and who's been featured on MTV, Dr. Drew, Ask Men, and more. Her mission is simple: help men level up their dating lives fast. Most guys struggle with flirting, and that's exactly where Marty's system, the F formula, comes in. It's a science-backed method used by tens of thousands of men to attract women, build confidence, and finally stop repeating the same mistakes. This is for men who are done settling and ready to step into the top tier. If you keep doing nothing, nothing changes. Other guys will take the opportunities you hesitate on. And because the Win Girl method is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an unbeatable deal. Just click the first link in the description. Now grab your exclusive preview of the F formula, completely free. Plus, if you decide to pick up the full program, you'll get an extra 20% off. If you're tired of failing at flirting and being stuck on the sidelines, stop wasting time. Take control of your dating life. Click the link below and get access right away when she's being unreasonable or emotional about something. You don't immediately validate and coddle. You hold frame. I understand you're upset, but this reaction seems disproportionate to what actually happened. You're not dismissing her feelings. You're providing grounded perspective instead of amplifying her emotion. Most men think they need to validate every feeling and emotion to be supportive. Wrong. Women are drowning in their own emotions. What they actually need is someone grounded enough not to get swept up in the storm with them. Someone who can stay calm when they're chaotic. When she tests you, and she will test you, constantly, you don't react emotionally. She says something slightly cutting. Instead of getting defensive or hurt, You respond with amused confidence. Maybe you don't respond at all. Maybe you smirk and change the subject. You're demonstrating that her approval or disapproval doesn't shake you. Most men fail these tests by either getting defensive, proving they're insecure, or trying to fix whatever she criticized, proving they're desperate for her approval. The right response is unshakable. Calm that communicates her opinion of you doesn't determine your opinion of you. When she demands your time or attention in ways that don't work for you, you say no, not apologetically, not with lengthy explanation. Just, that doesn't work for me. How about Thursday instead? You're maintaining boundaries about your time and priorities. Most men immediately accommodate any request from attractive women, thinking availability creates attraction. It does the opposite. It signals you have nothing more important than her attention. Saying no signals your time has value because you're not giving it away desperately. When she's wrong about something factual, you correct her. Not condescendingly, not like you're trying to prove you're smarter. Just matter-of-factly providing accurate information. Actually, that's not quite right. Here's what actually happened. Most men let attractive women be wrong rather than risk offending them. This is patronizing and she senses it. Treating her like she can handle being corrected with facts shows more respect than pretending everything she says is brilliant. Now, let me tell you why this works, and why it seems crazy. But it's actually completely logical from a psychological standpoint. First, women are constantly testing whether your strength is real or performed. The only way to verify strength is to apply pressure. If you maintain frame under pressure, your strength is real. If you crumble or accommodate desperately, your strength was an act. When you challenge her, disagree with her, hold boundaries with her, you're proving your strength is real. You're demonstrating you're not intimidated by her beauty or her emotion or her displeasure. This passes the test that agreeing and coddling fails. Second, women want polarity. They want to feel feminine in relation to your masculine, but they can only feel feminine if you're actually being masculine. And masculine energy holds frame. It has direction. It doesn't bend to accommodate every wind that blows. When you're constantly agreeing, accommodating, seeking her approval, you're not providing masculine polarity. You're trying to merge with her energy instead of creating contrast. This kills her feminine response because there's nothing to respond to. But when you challenge, disagree, hold boundaries. When you're clearly a separate person with your own frame, she can push against you. This creates the tension and polarity that generates attraction. She feels her femininity in response to your masculinity. Third, women respect strength and lose respect for weakness. And the fastest way to demonstrate weakness is to abandon your own positions, beliefs, and boundaries to please her. This screams that you don't respect yourself. So why should she respect you? When you hold your frame, even when it creates temporary conflict or displeasure from her, you're demonstrating self-respect. You value your own beliefs and standards enough to maintain them. This self-respect is attractive because it's rare. Fourth, women don't actually want men who agree with everything they say. That's boring. There's no challenge, no stimulation, no growth. They want someone who makes them think, who exposes them to different perspectives, who isn't just a mirror reflecting their own opinions back at them. When you disagree and challenge respectfully, you're providing intellectual and emotional engagement that agreement never creates. You're forcing her to defend her positions. Consider different angles. Sharpen her thinking. This engagement is stimulating in ways agreement is boring. Fifth, women are attracted to men they can't control or manipulate. When you're easy to control through approval seeking and accommodation, you become unattractive. When you're immovable through frame holding and boundary maintaining, you become magnetic. The irony is, women will test to see if they can control you, but lose attraction the moment they succeed. They're not consciously trying to control you to lose attraction. They're testing to find a man strong enough not to be controlled. The challenge is the point. Let me show you specific scenarios so you can see exactly how this plays out versus the wrong approach. Scenario: she suggests plans that don't work for your schedule. Wrong approach: oh yeah, sure. I can move some things around. When works for you? This signals your schedule is more important than mine. I have nothing going on. I'll bend to accommodate you. Right approach: That doesn't work for me. I've got commitments Tuesday through Thursday. How about Friday evening? This signals I have a life and priorities. My time has value. I'll find solutions that work for both of us, but I won't abandon my schedule. Scenario: she says something you strongly disagree with. Wrong approach. Yeah, totally. I see what you mean. While internally disagreeing, this signals I don't respect you enough to be honest. I'll lie to avoid conflict. My beliefs are negotiable for your approval. Right approach. I actually disagree with that pretty strongly. Here's how I see it. Then explain your perspective respectfully. This signals I respect you enough to be honest. I have actual beliefs. I'm not intimidated by disagreement. Scenario: she gets emotional about something minor. Wrong approach. Oh no. You're absolutely right to be upset. That's terrible. Anyone would react that way. This signals I'll amplify your emotions. I have no grounding. I'll validate anything to keep you happy. Right approach. I get that you're frustrated, but this seems like a pretty big reaction to something small. What's really bothering you? This signals I'm not swept up in your emotion. I can see clearly when you can't. I'll help you gain perspective instead of drowning with you. Scenario: she tests you with a slightly critical comment. Wrong approach. Getting defensive or immediately trying to fix what she criticized. This signals your opinion determines my worth. I'm insecure. I need your approval. Right approach. Slight smirk, comfortable pause, then noted or changing the subject entirely. This signals your approval doesn't shake me. I'm amused by the test. I'm secure in who I am. Scenario: she's factually wrong about something. Wrong approach. Letting it slide to avoid seeming like a know-it-all. This signals I'll patronize you by pretending you're right. I don't respect you enough to correct you. Right approach. Actually, that's not quite accurate. The real situation is then provide correct information matter-of-factly. This signals I respect you enough to be honest. I have knowledge and will share it. I'm not intimidated by being right when you're wrong. In every scenario, the right approach maintains frame, holds boundaries, provides grounded masculine energy, and treats her like an equal who can handle honesty and disagreement. The wrong approach abandons frame, violates boundaries, gets swept up in emotion, and patronizingly treats her like she's too fragile for honesty. And in every case, women respond with more attraction and respect to the right approach, despite it seeming harder or more risky. Because women aren't actually fragile, they're testing to see if you are. Now let me address the massive confusion and resistance men have to this truth. But women say they want men who validate their feelings and support them. Yes, they say that, and they do want support. But support doesn't mean mindless agreement and emotional merging. Real support is providing grounded perspective when she's lost in emotion. Real support is being the stable force when she's in chaos. Women don't want men who drown with them. They want men who throw them a rope. Those are two different things that people confuse constantly. But won't disagreeing and challenging create conflict sometimes? Yes. And that's healthy. Relationships without any conflict are relationships where someone is suppressing themselves. Respectful conflict means you're both being authentic. Women respect men willing to have conflict over men who avoid it desperately. But I don't want to be mean or disrespectful. Brother, nothing I've described is mean or disrespectful. Disagreeing respectfully isn't mean. Maintaining boundaries isn't mean. Holding frame isn't mean. Providing grounded perspective isn't mean. These are all signs of respect. Respect for her as someone who can handle honesty, and respect for yourself enough to stay authentic. What's actually disrespectful is lying about your opinions to avoid upsetting her, abandoning your boundaries to please her, getting swept up in her emotions, instead of helping her find ground. That's disrespectful because it treats her like she's too fragile for reality. But won't she leave if I stop accommodating? If she leaves because you have boundaries and self-respect, she was going to leave anyway once she lost respect for you through your constant accommodation. You're just accelerating the inevitable. And good riddance. You want women who respect strength, not women who need weakness. The Stoics taught about living according to your principles regardless of others' approval. Epictetus said, If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Sometimes holding your frame means she's temporarily upset. That's the price of authenticity. Pay it. Let me give you the deeper framework for understanding this, because without the right frame, you'll apply this mechanically and it won't work. This isn't about techniques or tactics. It's about genuinely being a man with strong frame, clear boundaries, and unshakable self-respect. When you actually are this, the behaviors I've described flow naturally. If you're performing these behaviors while still being desperate for approval inside, she'll sense the incongruence and it'll backfire. The frame has to be real. So, the actual work is internal, developing genuine self-respect, building a life you're proud of, establishing clear values and standards, becoming comfortable with disapproval, finding purpose beyond female validation. When you do this internal work, challenging women and holding boundaries isn't hard or scary, it's just natural. You're not trying to create attraction through technique. You're just being yourself authentically, and that authentic masculine presence creates attraction as a side effect. The Stoics were masters of this. Marcus Aurelius maintained his principles while ruling an empire. Thousands of people wanted things from him. Thousands tried to influence him. He held his frame throughout because his frame was based on internal principles, not external approval. That's the model. Have such strong internal foundation that external pressure doesn't move you. Not because you're rigid, but because you're rooted in something solid. When you have that foundation, treating women the way I've described becomes effortless. Here's what changes when you actually start treating women this way. They respect you more. They can feel that you respect yourself, which makes you worthy of respect. They're more attracted to you. The challenge and polarity create chemistry that agreement and accommodation kill. They pursue you more. You've become the selector instead of the selected, which makes them work to secure your approval. They test you less over time. Once they've verified your strength is real, the constant testing decreases because they found what they were looking for. They're more feminine around you. Your masculine frame creates space for their feminine energy to emerge. Instead of having to operate in masculine mode, they're more loyal. Women bond deeply to men they respect and can't control. You become irreplaceable instead of replaceable. Conflicts resolve faster when you hold frame calmly instead of getting reactive. Conflicts de-escalate naturally instead of spiraling. The relationship has polarity and passion. The masculine-feminine dynamic stays alive instead of dying into roommate comfort. All of this sounds crazy because it contradicts what women say they want. But watch their behavior and you'll see this pattern everywhere. The guys they obsess over, the guys who challenge them, the guys they take for granted, the guys who cuddle them. Let me bring this home. It sounds crazy, but here's how women actually want to be treated. Challenged, not coddled. Disagreed with, not blindly agreed with. Held to standards, not excused from everything. Provided masculine frame, not merged into their chaos. Treated with honest respect, not patronizing worship. This works because it passes strength tests, creates polarity, demonstrates self-respect, provides intellectual engagement, and proves you can't be controlled. All of these trigger deep attraction that accommodation and agreement kill. The specific behaviors. Disagree when you disagree. Hold frame when she's emotional. Don't react to tests. Say no when things don't work for you. Correct her when she's wrong. All done calmly, respectfully, and with genuine care for her well-being. This isn't about being mean or disrespectful. It's about being real, about maintaining your authentic self instead of morphing into whatever you think will please her. That authenticity and strength is what she's actually looking for beneath all the tests. The internal work is required. You can't perform this. You have to be this. Build genuine self-respect. Establish clear standards. Develop purpose beyond female validation. When you have solid internal foundation, these behaviors flow naturally. What changes? More respect, more attraction, more pursuit from her, less testing over time, more femininity in response to your masculinity, deeper loyalty, better conflict resolution, sustained passion and polarity. The Stoics understood this. Live according to your principles, not according to others' approval. Hold your frame regardless of external pressure. That's masculine strength. And that's what women actually respond to beneath all the noise about what they claim they want. Start applying this today. Next time she tests, hold frame. Next time you disagree, say so. Next time she's being unreasonable, provide perspective instead of validation. Watch how her respect and attraction increase instead of decrease. It sounds crazy because it contradicts everything you've been told. But the truth often sounds crazy in a world built on comfortable lies. Try it. Watch the results. Then decide whether you want to keep doing what you've been told or start doing what actually works. The choice is yours. Fade